All right, y'all. So this one right here piqued my interest because I wanted to see exactly how this woman was able to survive for 3 weeks in the wilderness. I already know a little bit about this story, but yeah, this is a woman found alive after being missing 3 weeks in California mountains. Speaks out. I already know a little bit about some of the things that she did to survive. So let's check this out, and then I'm gonna let you guys know what I think about this as we move forward on this story here.
I had pretty much fallen off of a cliff trying to go on vacation for the first time. I may never do a real vacation longer than 3 days ever again. When I fell off of this cliff, I was unconscious for about 2 hours and did indeed have to splint one of my legs and pop the other knee back into place. From there, I couldn't actually get back onto the road. The main road was blocked because of the avalanche that I had been in. And of course, like a normal person, the first thing you're supposed to do is call 911. And I attempted that 4 or 5 times with no avail. And eventually got mad at my GPS and decided to ask, well, where's the nearest Starbucks? He was like, oh, well, we can answer that question. It's 18 miles from here. You can't give me 911, you can't get me GPS, but you can get me a Starbucks? Yes, we can. It's also a shorter distance than trying to find the entrance. And
Yo. I'm giving a round of applause just off the first tip. This woman is literally her own superhero, okay? She's her own superhero, because listen, if that was me, yeah, I mean, she had to put it, I think she just said she had to put her knee back in place. She was unconscious for 2 hours, which might suggest she hit her head pretty hard. So the fact that she lived for 3 weeks after that, not seeing a doctor, let's continue to listen here, because the key point that I kind of spoiled for myself reading a little bit about this on my own before doing this reaction was what she fed herself during this entire time. So let's continue.
doing so, I ended up on this very long, arduous journey that I journaled to try and keep sane. And eventually managed to get to civilization. I haven't really gone through all of the details. I ran out of a lot of food after 5 days, but I will do my best to answer any questions that you may have.
Well, what did you eat? I mean, you were in the elements for how long?
The worst thing that you can do in an emergency situation is panic. I'm a traveling dialysis technician and an archery coach by trade. I didn't want to panic. In the first 5 days, I was still ready for my vacation. I had some of Fresno's best citrus, which was funny because I'm kind of allergic to it at that point, but I did have food to begin with. But I'm a trained permaculturalist. That means I'm very good at foraging and helping people not go to the grocery store in very rural areas. And the Sierras has a large selection of leeks that is hard to find in other places. In case you don't know what that is, it's sort of a green onion, and I managed to survive off of these leeks and boiling the snow melt for a very long period of time, actually. And I journaled it. I think I've been out maybe 23 days on this.
Listen. Shout out to Tiffany Slayton. Listen, a permaculturist is someone who applies the principles of permaculture, a design system for creating sustainable and resilient ecosystems. They aim to create self-sustaining systems that integrate plants, animals, people, and communities, often with a focus on food production and ecological stewardship. Listen, this lady is alive because of her skill set. That's what it is. It's because of her skill set. If this was anybody else, they would have found skeletons, skull and bones. Okay. This is amazing. This just pushes me even further in the belief system of, learning about nature. Okay. She has the skill set, and I think she even said, she might have said archery. I think she said archery. So if she might know how to make a bow and arrow from wood and then go hunting squirrels or something. But permaculturist, so she's got like herbal knowledge. She knows how to forage. So the next thing, that's what it was that she said. No, not a leech. It was not a leech. Hold on, I actually forgot. What did she say? Let's look here in the
Other places, in case you don't know what that.
Leeks, not leech. Okay, leeks. Let's look that up. Let's look up leeks. Okay, leek. There we go. I thought she said, okay, leek. A leek is a plant related to the onion with flat overlapping leaves forming an elongated cylindric. I'm getting tongue-tied today, y'all. The circular word, okay? Bulb, which together with the leaf bases is eaten as a vegetable. Let's get some pictures going here. Leek. Show us a picture what this looks like. Is that what this is? I've seen this before. I've definitely seen these out in the wild. So these are edible. Okay, we learned something today. You see how this works? You hang with me, you get to learn some things. So these are edible. Okay, so that's what she ate. That's part of what she ate to survive. And she also she consumed snow. Now my thing with snow is can you eat snow safely? Because I'm thinking, you eat too much snow or you eat the wrong snow and you walking out of here with some boo-boo guts, terrible. So can we eat that safely? See, while eating snow might seem like a fun winter activity, it's important to be aware of the potential risk and take precautions to ensure it's safe. Here's a breakdown of when snow is generally considered safe to eat and when it's best to avoid. When it's generally safe to eat snow with precautions. Freshly fallen, pristine white snow. Snow that has just fallen and appears clean and white is generally safe, the safest to eat. Okay, so I guess it's formed in the sky and it's fallen and it hasn't hit the ground, perhaps, or any trees or anything. Top layer of undisturbed snow. Avoid eating snow that is in direct contact with the ground, as it may contain dirt, debris, and pollutants. Snowfall from prolonged snow event. Later layers of snow from a prolonged snowfall tend to be cleaner than initial layers, as the earlier snowfall helps to scrub the air of some pollutants. Okay. When you should avoid eating snow: discolored snow, snow near roads, sidewalks, or parking lots. This snow may contain salt, chemicals, snow that has been disturbed or plowed. Okay, cool. So let's get back to let's finish this video and see what else she has to say.
It's sort of a green onion, and I managed to survive off of these leeks and boiling the snow melt for a very long period of time, actually. And I journaled it. I think I've been out maybe 23 days on this.
So she just said she boiled the snow melt. So I'm guessing she put it through, I'm guessing she had the tools to boil the snow, but let's continue.
Outside, or do you have any cover at all?
At the beginning, I was coming to try and do a camping trip, so I had 2 sleeping bags and a basic tent. But at the end, after fighting nature for such a long time, I lost my tent, I lost my vestibule, And I did eventually lose both sleeping bags, so I was outside with nothing but a lighter and a knife.
Oh wow.
Stephanie, after many days, how you avoid death to survive?
How did I avoid death? I'm pretty good at foraging, and nature is quite terrifying.
Hey,
so
hey,
usually
hey,
once
sis, pop your collar. Well, I'm pretty good at foraging. For one, just go ahead and pop your collar a little bit, because that is actually a flex. That's a flex. That's a flex, because most people, I'm telling you, we wouldn't know where to begin, what's edible, what's poisonous, how do we even, most people wouldn't even get through 1 week, let alone 3 weeks. So pop your collar,
you
sis.
start finding things that are scary for you, you do your best to keep moving and get over it. And because of the mountains, I literally got over quite a few of them.
Tiffany, the sheriff mentioned that you have something called ballerina syndrome. Is that accurate? And if so, what does that do in terms of making it difficult for you to hike?
So ballerina syndrome it's a syndrome that involves kind of what's known as a high arch. I'm unable to keep my feet on. Can't keep my heels on the ground for more than 3 inches, and it kind of looks like this.
Is that from dancing?
Not from dancing. I was born with this syndrome, and what it does is over time you end up not being able to keep your heels on the ground. So things like snowshoes are not something I can find because, well, stilettos are not exactly the best of athletic wear. But I tried my best to find what I could and found a pair of heels made out of leather.
Wait. I'm sorry. I gotta look this up. We gotta look this up. Ballerina. Google correct what I'm trying to say. Ballerina. There we go. Ballerina syndrome. I cannot spell, y'all. Don't laugh at me today. Ballerina syndrome. Let's see. Ballerina syndrome, in the context of foals and donkeys, refers to a condition where the animal cannot fully bear weight on its heel. Yeah, but what about in humans? Okay. Ballerina syndrome in humans, more formally known as os trigonum syndrome, or posterior ankle impingement, is a condition caused by an extra bone behind the ankle called the os trigonum becoming painful due to injury or repetitive stress. Due to injury. I wonder, did she injure herself, or was this always this way? This syndrome is frequently observed in ballet dancers, runners, and other athletes due to the repetitive plantar flexion, pointing of the toes, required in their activities. Oh, wow. Causes. The syndrome often develops in dancers due to the repetitive... Okay, we already read that. Symptoms of include pain, stiffness at the back of the ankle, particularly when performing plantar flexion treatment. Treatment options typically involve rest, immobilization, and physical therapy to reduce pain and inflammation. In some cases, surgery to remove the os trigonum may be considered if conservative treatments are unsuccessful. I have never heard of this, y'all. I have never ever heard of this. I have so many questions. But I don't want to make this video too long, but let's finish this on out here.
Of that man who, left that door open for people just like you, people in need. How grateful are you?
I honestly do not think that without Vermilion Resort, I would not be here at that moment, because that was the 13th heavy snowstorm I had been in, and it was going to be the last one. If he hadn't have come that day, they would have found my body there.
What
Oh,
injuries
wow.
did you sustain?
I've got into an avalanche and 2 landslides in the process. When I came into the hospital, somehow because of the foraging, my blood work was perfect. But I did have a lot of micro cuts. I have a lot of burns, but nothing that I don't think time will be able to heal. I didn't really come up with any.
Wow. So yeah, man, that's a lot. What do you guys think about this? Have you heard of ballerina syndrome? Have you ever heard of the plant leeks? Leeks, I believe is what it was. Yeah, leek. Have you seen these? Do you eat these? Do you cook these? I want to know. Do you think you could have survived 3 weeks out in the wilderness with minimal knowledge? Which I'm going to answer it for you. I'm going to say no. But if you have a difference of opinion, let me know in the comment section down below. This is a truly inspiring story. And if anything, it should encourage you to start making yourself familiar with things like foraging and just survival things in that nature, because you never know when you need to, your car might break down on the way somewhere, and anything could happen. You just need to know. You need to be aware. You need to expand on your abilities, because everything's good until it's not. So yeah, like the video, leave your comments down below. On to the next video.